Yo, what's going on? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. It means it's time for another live stream. Today is Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. Guys, it is October already. The year has flown by, and it is starting to feel like fall, depending on what time of the day it is here, especially for all of you guys looking at the forecast in Chicago and freaking out for the marathon. I guess we could take a look at it in a little bit here, but so far, let me just give you an update of what it feels like here. If you're not in the Midwest and you're coming to Chicago, it is a little bit chilly in the morning, very humid though. So it's not cold. But like I put on a hoodie when I walked the dog this morning. The dog woke me up really early, like 5 o'clock. So like it gets cold during the middle of the day. It's super hot and it feels like summer. And then in the afternoons, it gets chilly again once the sun starts to set. And then I think by the time we get to Chicago Marathon Day, weather's gonna be cooler. Weather's gonna be a lot cooler. But we'll take a look at that and we'll do some unboxing. But first, let's say hi to everyone listening on the audio only version on the podcast. Hopefully, you're listening to this right now during a very cool morning recovery run, and you're just having the best time. Today on my run, I didn't go out that early, but I feel like just because it was a lot cooler than it has been, I feel like I was just able to run a lot faster with the same level of effort. Not that I was trying to go fast, but just the same level of effort translated into a little bit faster of a run, which I always take as a good sign of fitness. Or it's just not as hot as it used to be. So hopefully you're getting that too. And for everyone else watching this later but not live, welcome to the #1 drive time radio show for runners. And I hope that your laundry folding is going well. All right, let's see who we got here in the chat. AJ says, I was 0.01 miles short today. So the Strava tax has been hitting me really hard. I've been running about 10 miles a day pretty regularly now, getting ready for my next race. And I stop exactly at 10 miles. Like there's a couple of routes near my house that are almost exactly like 5 miles for each loop. And I've been trying to overhydrate and oversugar myself on the runs. And so like I've been doing these 5-mile loops and then I'll run exactly 10.00 miles and then walk back like, 100 meters or so, 150 meters to the car for my cool down. And every time I stop it at 10.00 on this Coros, Strava gives me 9.99. It's like the last 3 times in a row where I've run 10 miles. It's done that to me. It's driving people crazy. It's pretty funny. Daniel Burton's in Greeley, Colorado. Perfect running weather. Isn't it always perfect running weather in Greeley, though? I feel like it always is. James says, hey, Kovan, rough couple of days here. I've been leading with my head a bit much, trying to give myself CTE or something. Well, take it easy there, James. Hopefully you're doing okay. Sean says, hey, KRC, enjoying some beautiful but temporary fall running weather, giving me those high school cross-country vibes. It is cross-country season. Yesterday was a good but a hard day for me. So yesterday, my daughter had a cross-country meet at a location that's closer. It's an invitational, and it's closer than most of the other schools that we go to. Our conference is weird for this middle school. Like most of this schools are west of here. Like we're going basically up to Rockford for a lot of our cross-country meets. This one happened to be like in the next town over. And so a lot of the parents can make it to this one. A lot of them can't make it to the other ones. And so I'm there, and it's a route that's very nice where you don't have to move around too much to be able to see the kids. And so there's more teen parents there than usual, and there's a lot of standing around together. And the parents were the weather was nice, so the parents were in a good mood. And so everyone was chatty, and I was like, this is hard for me. I was not in a chatty mood. I'm not always the most social person, even though I have a live stream. That's very different. That's very different. But yeah, so I had a hard time. And my wife couldn't go because she had to take my other daughter to soccer. So we had to split up yesterday. And so she was like, did you do a good job? And I'm like, maybe. She's like, well, you need to do a better job of talking with the other team parents. And I was like, I know. I tried. She says, did you try? And I'm like, a little. I talk to the parents that I know, which I know a lot of them by now because they're, we've been running cross country in this school for a couple of years now. And I see them on the track at the track meets and stuff too. So I feel like I did okay. I think they all know that I'm kind of flighty. Like I'm going to jump around A lot of them just want to stay in the same spot. So that's, but I think I've been taking pictures, and then I give the pictures to my daughter. And so a lot of the kids get pictures of themselves racing. And so I think a lot of them are like, oh, he's going to go take a picture or something. So it's okay if he just bolts without saying goodbye. All right, Mark has an update from Grandma's Marathon. Whew. Mark says, hey, everyone. So Grandma's Marathon registration opened last night. The half sold out in 75 minutes, and the full was sold out by this morning. The 6 hotels I've called are all booked up. Yay. Yeah. The half always fills up really fast. And I'm starting to think that Grandma's needs to move to a lottery at this point. Either that or they need to significantly increase how many people that they try to shuffle through that course. Which I feel like the road's plenty big. They could fit a lot more people. It'd just be a bigger endeavor, and I'm sure also it'd be a bigger burden upon, because it's point to point. So it's not just like it's one town, right? It's not just Duluth. I'm sure there's other municipalities involved. So I don't know. I was thinking about, someone asked me, and Herm mentioned it already before too, and people have been asking me if I'm going to go to Grandma's next year. And I'm not planning on running it again. I think Grandma's now is getting to be one of those harder to get in races where I would feel bad if I was just like to call up someone and be like, hey, can you get me in this race? So I don't know that I'll run it again. I ran it once. I had a really great time there. I had a lot of fun with Ben. He paced me to my first sub 3. I feel like we should leave it at that. But I was thinking I would love to cover the race. Point-to-point races are really hard to cover. But I want to ride the train. Has anyone ever ridden the train at Grandma's? I'm going to scroll down and see if anyone has ever ridden that train. Yeah. James says, Kofuzi is the team leader of running parents. I kind of am. I am now, or I'm reluctantly becoming that in some ways. Because one, all the parents now know that I am a running influencer. So they know that I run all the time. And they've all seen me at all the track meets and the cross country meets. And my daughter is one of the team leaders. I don't think they have captains in junior high school. At least this one doesn't. But she's one of the leaders. And so I feel like I've kind of had to take the lead. And I spent a lot of time talking with the coach too. And so I feel like everyone thinks that I know a lot of stuff, which I kind of do and I kind of don't, because I'm not from around here. So, yeah. So I'm kind of reluctantly realizing, like, I keep telling my daughter, like, that she has to be a team leader. Like, make sure that you're creating a good culture for people that want to be at cross country when you're doing your team cool down. Make sure you're doing it not at your pace. Do it at a pace that everyone that's there can cool down and people don't have to run a second race. So I've been doing that, and she's like, okay, fine. And now I'm like, okay, fine. I gotta do all this stuff too. So I'm trying. I'm trying to be a good team parent. But I feel like, though, there's a couple of the team parents there that would like having this position that I would be happy to cede that to. You know what I mean? I don't want to step on anyone's toes, But because I think part of it is because I run around the course and photograph everybody. Not everybody, but some of the kids. I try to photograph everyone in the race that my daughter races. So like you usually do, like the girls team. Yesterday, the girls and boys ran together, and whenever that happens, I try to get the girls and the boys. But I'm not just like photographing children, So yeah. So I think because I go around the course, I think everyone thinks I know the course ahead of time, which I'm usually just figuring it out as we go, just like everybody else. All right. Let's see. Nikki Louise says, I ran my first marathon this past Saturday. Oh yeah, Nikki. Great job. Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome to hear. And continuing with the grandma's discussion, Calvin says, where would all the extra people stay though? I think that is a problem, but like, I don't like, this is one of the things that I don't understand about Duluth. It's a smaller city, right? It's hard to get to. It doesn't have like a very big airport, things like that. So it's not like a major metropolitan area. But is Grandma's the biggest event that happens in Duluth? I don't think so. I think between the people that are there for like winter sports, the people that are there for hunting, camping, outdoor activities, like the Grandma's Marathon does not take up the entire convention center when it's there. There's empty spaces in the convention center. You know what I mean? So like, I don't understand why the lodging is a problem, right? Unless it's a manufactured problem, right? Duluth is not giving permits to any other hotels to open up or something like that, you know? It's like Eugene as well. Like, why is it so hard to stay in Eugene? Like, I don't understand how this is a problem. It's a Big Ten. It used to be Pac-12. Is it Big Ten now? It's a major market football powerhouse. It's a giant university that has graduation and parents' weekend presumably every single year. Like, why is it hard to find a hotel in Eugene? It shouldn't be a problem. They should have this down to a science, right? It's not like Woodstock where we're going into the woods and we're all of a sudden trying to stay somewhere. This is a place that has recreational activity. That's why I get so frustrated about both Eugene and Duluth. Like, Sacramento doesn't have this problem, you know? Yeah. Sorry. That was a big rant. I had to get that off my chest, I guess. Tim Lofton said, my son just moved to Plymouth, Minnesota, and immediately I thought Grandma's. Then I saw it's in Duluth, over 2 hours from where he is. That's close. Up in that part of the country, 2 hours is close. That's a quick drive, honestly. Because when I go to Duluth, I fly to Minneapolis and then drive from there, and it's a 3.5 hour drive. Otherwise, it'd be like an 8 hour or 9 hour drive, you know? So, yeah. Maddie Mac is here and says, nice to catch a live stream. Nice to see you, Maddie Mac. What's that bike in the back? Is that a Sportster in there? Or is that, yeah, it looks like a Sportster in there. Dan Dalton says, every race is going to be a ballot now. I don't think so, but I think a lot of them are. A lot of the popular ones are. And I think ultimately that's good, you know? Because then you don't have to be like, it's not like Ticketmaster where you got to be in line, you know? And I think that's better, but it's hard. Milbert 5100 says, my wife and I are running our first half this Sunday, the Long Beach half. Pretty sure it'll be a PB. Yes, it will. Just got to get across that finish line. Good luck to the both of you. Nice. And Nikki Louise says, I came in sub 5 for her first marathon, which was her goal. It was hot in Illinois. Yeah, it was hot this weekend. It was real hot. Daniel Brown wants to know, Kobe, you've ridden the Vomero Premium. I have not. I've seen it. I ran with Ben Johnson when he ran in it. And Ben Johnson ran Sydney Marathon in it, but I have not tried it myself. All right. Mark says Grandma's is by far the biggest economic impact on that town every year. Okay. Then why is the convention center so big? What do they have in there otherwise? I bet you they got a rodeo that comes in there every year. But they do let you car camp in the parking lot there, right? Or does it have to be like an actual RV? You can't just car camp? I don't know. I feel like I would love it if a brand would let, I mean, that's probably a pretty bad idea. But if there were like a party RV in the camping area for Grandma's, I think that'd be fun. Although I'd be bad at that. I'm bad at camping too. So I wouldn't be, yeah. Stevie76 says the Kofuzi Motel has Japanese toilets and K-cup machines. True. You know, here's the thing. I don't like the Japanese toilet. Here's I'm gonna be real honest, and this is probably too much information. But when I use the Japanese or any bidet, doesn't have to be just Japanese toilets. But whenever I use the Japanese toilets, some of them have a fan afterwards to dry you off. Some of them do not. So then would you just pull your underwear back up with wet butt? I feel like it doesn't save me that much paper. I feel like when I use the Japanese toilet, I'm still using toilet paper. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm that much cleaner. I don't know. And Manny Max says, "Good idea. It was a Sportster." Yeah, there we go. I could tell from the air filter cover. I've been looking at a lot of motorcycles lately. I've been kind of getting the itch again. But I feel like not. I don't know. I feel like I should probably do something responsible and like pay down debt or something. But it would be fun to get it back on the road again. Jeffrey Watkins says, "Why is the Chicago Marathon gear so bad?" Yeah. So here's the thing. I think that the Chicago Marathon capsule collection that Nike put out is actually really nice. It's fun. The colors are great. It's vibrant. I think they did a good job. The shirt this year is bad, but the Chicago Marathon shirt has been bad for a long time. Do you remember the light blue one that said Chicago? Do you guys remember that one? That was hideous. The light blue wasn't like a Chicago flag light blue, and the red was kind of this weird day glow red. I don't know. It was that was a pretty gross shirt. Yeah, I just don't think that the Chicago Marathon shirts are ever, the participant shirts are ever that good. I mean, they're great to have, but like this year's one, see, I feel like this year's one, here's what I think happened. I think they were trying to make this year's Chicago Marathon shirt look like the Wrigley Field sign. But I'm guessing legal got involved and said, we don't want to have to pay the Ricketts family, I guess, to be able to use that sign or be accused of trademark infringement. Not that I know that there's I don't know if there's trademark on that sign or the trade dress of that sign. I don't know. I think it was an IP problem. So I think that they had to do is they had to change it so it didn't look too much like the Wrigley Field sign. So that's why I think it looks gross. But it's that one is yeah. This year's participant shirt is unusually bad, I would say. All right. Amanda Para says, Capuzzi, did my first half in 2:20. Congratulations. It's a good time. Amanda says, went with your suggestion on my new SE Elite version 4, bought on sale, and love them so much. Thank you. Well, I'm so glad to hear that. I think that's a great shoe. Congratulations on that first half marathon. Awesome. Jonas has a theory. He says, rate my theory. And then we'll do an unboxing. Jonas says, Americans run more volume than Europeans because miles sound less than kilometers. Example, everyone seems to run 60 plus miles a week in marathon prep, but only pros do 100 plus Ks per week in Europe. I think that's interesting. I think that could be something to that. I also think that America is bigger. We just have more miles to run. And I guess maybe my experience in Europe is a bit of a non-representative sample, but it feels like it's just harder. Like it's real hard to do a long run for me in Europe. It just seems like I have to go so much farther to get a long run in. Like doing it just feels like I've traveled so much further. I don't know. Maybe that's part of it, but I guess because like European cities are much more dense than American urban and suburban sprawl. So I think that's part of it. But I also think, let's say, look at it this way though. I think that in Europe, I feel like there is also a much more robust distribution of athletes running different distances. In the US, it's pretty much like you run 5Ks or you run marathons, and there's not a lot in between there. I feel like in Europe, there's much more robust participation in 10Ks and half marathons. Although half marathons are starting to become more popular in the US, I think. But I like it. I think it makes a bit of sense. 100K is a nice round number. But I don't think all that many people run 60 miles a week. 60 miles a week is still a lot for a lot of people. Dan John wants to know if any UK runners are doing the Cardiff half this weekend. Is that the Oisho half, Dan? Part of the super halves? I put my name in for the ballot for next year. Because I think the ballot just opened up. I think if it's that one, that's in Wales, right? I signed up for that one. I don't know why I did. I just did. I kind of felt like it. So. Seeker Elite says 2022, the Chicago Marathon shirt was good. I don't remember what 2022 Chicago Marathon shirt. Should we look it up? Which one is? I'm getting a couple of different ones, but I don't think they're the participant shirt. I'm trying to think of what the racer shirt is. Here, let's pull this up. Is it this one? How do I? Okay, stop sharing that one. I need to share this one. Okay, is it this shirt? Is that the shirt? That black and yellow one? If that's what it was, that is pretty nice. That's not a bad one. Which ones did Mark had ones from 21 and 2024? What was last year's? 24. See, it's hard to tell because so many other companies do them. What was last year's? I'm trying to think if any of these was the finish shirt. I don't know. I just remember a lot of bad ones. Maybe that's just me. Okay. All right. Should we get to some unboxings? But I think we're all in agreement that this year's is bad. Daniel says last year was a Skyline. Oh, okay. I do like things with Chicago Skyline on it. All right, Custom Pineapple Waggle says, box. All right, let's go. I kind of opened this one already because I needed to see what it was. Not for embargo reasons, but I've been having this hard time. I wanted to see if it was this thing that I've been looking at because it's been a pain in my butt. So I tried to order the new DJI little camera. I forget what they call it. Is it mini? Just called Osmo Mini, whatever, that really little one. I ordered it off of Amazon, and I've been avoiding Amazon, but I watched Potato Jet review of it. I don't know if review is what you can call it since it's sponsored, but Potato Jet's video of it, and sponsored by DJI. But I watched his video of it, and he was like, I don't think it's for sale in the US really, but you can get it on Amazon. So I was like, all right, I'll get it on Amazon. But Amazon has, it's been a long time since I bought anything off Amazon. Anything big. Like these, I still have these on the desk. These watch bands. I don't know where else to get them but Amazon. So I bought those somewhat recently. But like, apparently the new policy is if you buy something over a certain dollar amount, they give you a delivery code, and they will not deliver it unless the person receiving it recites the delivery code. And so like they keep calling me, and as a rule, I do not answer my phone ever. If you're supposed to be calling me, let's just do a video call. Number two, if you haven't scheduled a phone call with me, I don't want to be on the phone. So I don't take phone calls anyway. But anyway, and I also have not set up a voicemail box. Guys, don't set up a voicemail box. It's the best thing that you can do. People don't leave voicemail messages because they can't. It's great. But I kept getting all these messages, emails saying like, hey, you have to set it up so that way the person can give the code. And I'm like, it's a UPS store. Can you just deliver it to the UPS store? And for like this is the third day in a row that they've tried to deliver it. And today I finally answered the call. But I didn't have my phone with me because I was coming back home from a run and I had my Apple Watch. So the call comes through, and it's not even before it was a Seattle number. I'm guessing like all the Amazon drivers have to call through some sort of system, and all the numbers get routed as Seattle numbers. It's actually the UPS store guy. And he's like, hey, it's so-and-so. I had just seen him that morning because I went to pick up this package. Anyway, he's like, it's so-and-so. There's an Amazon delivery driver here. He needs a code. And I'm like, yeah, can you put him on the phone? So he puts him on speakerphone. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have access to the code. And he's like, you should have got it in an email. I'm like, oh, I got it. But I'm talking to you through a watch. I'm not by a desk where I have my laptop. I don't have my phone with me. You're calling me on a watch. Which sounds ridiculous, and it is. But anyway, and so I'm like, I cannot check my email from this watch while I'm on the phone with you. So I cannot give you a code. But you have gone to a UPS store to try and deliver to a box that has my name on it. They looked up my phone number and called this person, and it's me. Can you just drop the package? He's like, I can't without the code. I'm like, I understand. Whatever. Then I reject the delivery. Let's cancel it. I'm not dealing with this. So, yeah. So that's what I did. I'm just like, this is so annoying. I don't understand. Like, why is this like this? And so I was like, just return it. I'm refusing delivery. But I was hoping that there was in this box, but it's not was in this box. So that was yeah. Frank says, I think I can call and check my email on my watch at the same time. I tried. I was hitting the button and it wouldn't let me leave the call screen at all. So it didn't do it. So yeah. So I was super annoyed about it. But anyway. All right. Here's what's in the, that was me ranting like a lunatic. That's 2 big rants from me today. But here is what was in this box, which I did not need to have a delivery code for. But yeah, it's from GoPro. I paid this myself. Remove paper wrap before displaying or stocking this product. Okay. Yeah. So GoPro announced a couple of new cameras, and I don't know. GoPro, I don't think has ever reached out to me. Not that they have to, but just as a side note. But here it is. GoPro Max 2. I figured I've bought every 360 camera that GoPro has ever made, including the initial GoPro Fusion, which required recording to 2 simultaneous micro SD cards. So I figured, well, might as well keep it going. Let's get this one too. Let's open this one up. Max 2, true 8K 360. I know that it's friendlier for the environment to have these paper boxes, but I miss the clear plastic ones that had everything in the nice display. That was very pretty. And I also miss that GoPros used to come with a carrying case. That was also really nice. All right, it says camera must be updated before you can use it. And just some advice on how to get the invisible stick. A lot of stickers. Tips. USB-C to USB-C. A helmet mount. They still give these away. And then battery. A unique shape of battery. And here's the camera itself. They really want you to update it before you use it. This is not satisfying. Maybe this will be? Nah, that was okay. But it's got 2 lenses on it, like every other 360 camera. And that's it. That's all that was in the box. Let's confirm that it takes 1. Let's put the battery in. Where's the SD card slot on this? I didn't see it in there. Did I miss it? Oh, here it is in here. Just one, right by the battery. Okay. Should I turn it on? It's gonna make me enter menus, and then it's gonna yell at me to make sure I update it first. But here it is. So I'll play around with this one. I've been using the DJI 360. That's the one I took to Tokyo. I loved using it in Tokyo. I have not tried the new Insta360 One X5. I think I'm still using One X. Am I on 4? I might be on One X3. I think I'm on 4. I don't know. But yeah. So there it is. English. Legal stuff. GPS on. Voice control off. All right. It won't let me do anything until I insert an SD card. It's kind of annoying. I do have one here though. But I bought this one for the DJI camera, but I never put it in that. Let's get going in here. Oh, these are so hard to open. Getting to Run says, "Hey, GoPro reached out to me to ask you to update that before use." There you go. All right, but now I've got to open up the GoPro Quick app. So we'll do that later because I don't want to do all this now. All right. Stevie76, when Athlete Special filmed inside a porta potty in his last race, included the footage, including audio. That's kind of a lot. Was it a 360? I don't think he shoots 360, does he? But yeah, I mean, I guess if you weren't showing anything, but do we really need the audio? I'm not sure. All right. Arena says, "Hey, Coat, finally caught a live. Welcome. I ran a 43:19 10K in Moscow 2 weeks ago, aiming to hit sub 25K this weekend. Hopes are really high. LOL. All right. Good job. Yeah. All right. Sub 25K this weekend. I think you got some work to do, but I think you can get there. Good luck to you. Hope the weather is nice." Kyle Rupp now says, "Joining late today. Have you talked about how you've been liking the Shox Buds?" Yes. I haven't talked about it, but I've been using them. I think I unboxed them here in front of you guys, right? But I've been using them pretty much every day since then, and I like them quite a bit. The only thing that I don't like about them is like the touch controls are useless. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know if hopefully maybe there's a way to customize some of the buttons. I don't know if there is, but like I cannot get it to pause when I want it to pause. And then every once in a while when I'm real sweaty, it will pause when I don't want it to pause. Like it'll just start registering touches that I'm not actually touching it. So I don't know what's going on with that. But otherwise, the sound is pretty good. It's the best sounding Shox that I've ever used. So I'm excited about that. So that's been nice. Do I feel safer while running with them? I'm not sure I do. For the same reason, like that when you're trying to find somewhere, when you're driving, you always turn down the radio. Noise is still noise. So I don't know. But is it better for me? Do I have less fatigue? I don't know. I don't really get fatigue with earbuds. So, but the sound is good. And they fit on me just fine. I've had a couple issues every once in a while where it'll sit funny and I got to adjust them, but so far it's been really good. So I've been liking them a lot. Seeker Elite says, "I would like to see a comparison between the Max 360's pros and cons." I've been thinking about doing about that a lot, and I'm not going to make a review video about them all because one, they take extra long to make. And the views are low. People aren't coming to me for 360 camera reviews. And so I'll just use it for a while and see if I like it. And then I might comment on it here in the chat or whatever. But so far I've been absolutely loving the DJI 360, especially, and even more now because I just bought the DJI Mic Mini. And the ability of that, once you pair one of the microphones, and they're small, once you pair that to the 360 camera, every time you turn it on, almost instantly it connects. And so you have mic'd up audio. And that is super convenient. When I try to do it with other cameras, you have to like reconnect it, you know, and each time you have to like turn it on, connect it, and then you can use it. It doesn't auto connect, it seems. So this has been really that could be a game changer for me from a vlogging perspective, like when I'm traveling. And it's just really easy to use. I don't know that the any camera from now on is going to need to have that level of simplicity or a significantly better video experience for me to use it. So that's kind of that's where I'm at on it so far. Nick Newland says wind noise. I haven't done a lot of running with the DJI Mic Mini yet. So mostly I'm just using it because sometimes like I like to walk away from a 360 camera. And so that's the main thing. So that way I still have audio in it. So we'll see if there's wind noise from running, because I think as light as it is, like running clothes are so light and thin, that microphone will still bounce around a lot. So I'm trying to figure out, I don't want to put a microphone on a hat. I hate that. So we'll see. Dan Johnson says, what's the warm weather forecast for Twin Cities Marathon this coming Sunday? They had to cancel because of warm weather last year. Did they really? I don't remember that. I don't know. One of my friends from law school, she's running this weekend, so she'll be up there. And so I got a text from her. She texted like the group chat, the law school group chat, and she was like, "Guys, she's an IP attorney. She's like, guys, I'm in Sweden for work, and I'm talking with some people at dinner, and some of them are runners, and one of them was supposed to run Chicago, but he's injured, so he's not coming. The other one was asking me about what I'm running, and I'm running Twin Cities Marathon next week, and she's like, he was talking about, and she's like, oh, you're not running Chicago, and she's like, no, I'm running Twin Cities. He's like, oh, there's this running influencer that I watch. He's in Chicago. And she goes, is it Kofuzi? And he's like, yeah. You know Kofuzi? And she's like, yeah, I went to law school with him. So like that's really funny. That's such a small world. And so he's like, no way. So yeah, there's that. And she's like, can I show him pictures of us in law school together when I see him at work tomorrow? And I was like, sure, go ahead, go for it. So that should be funny. Hopefully that's a good laugh. But hopefully you guys get some respite this year. No, last year they had Twin Cities Marathon, didn't they? Isn't that the one where Tim Waltz was there and everyone freaked out because Tim Waltz was like had a little cheer station on the side? That wasn't that, or is that a different one? Is that Medtronic? Is that different? I don't know. Getting to Run says, hey, Co, first timer for Chicago. Do you have any favorite vegetarian-friendly spots? I can't really do dairy, so pizza is out pre-26.2. Vegetarian-friendly spots. So the place that I took Tommy, where did I take Tommy last year? I took Tommy a place for pizza where they have vegan pizzas as well. So if you do want to do pizza, which one was it? It wasn't Slice. Where did we go? I'll have to look that up. It's been a long time since I've actually lived in Chicago, guys, now. It's been 3 years. So I'm probably not the best person to ask anymore. But I'll try to figure out, or I'll try to remember what that place was that I went to with Tommy. Cosmo Michael said they canceled Twin Cities at 5:30 a.m. during the day of the race last year. Oh my goodness. And he says, wait, I think that was 2023. Okay. All right. Morgan, the running guy, says, "Hey, Co, good job on an almost 10-miler a day." See, that's not Strava tax. It just seems. What's funny is people have been messaging me and me calling it the Strava tariffs now, which I think is funny and corny and sad, but it's fun. Eric is back. He says, first live stream in a while, and first since Yeti 100 ran 20:38 for a huge PR. Oh my goodness, that is very fast for 100 miles. Oh boy, good job, Eric. Man, wow. Emily Lung says, came late to the live. Not sure if you've covered it, but what should we expect at your shakeout run? It'll be my first marathon. Okay. So I haven't gone over it in detail with A6 yet, but I'm expecting we'll get there. I think there'll be a lot of people at the location. I'm not sure exactly where it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be at the Fleet Feet store that's there. There is like retail space in that area that is usually wide open that becomes kind of like a mini expo of sorts every year. I think we're meeting in there. And then from there, there'll probably be a little bit of time for selfies ahead of time. John Career and Wesley Career will be there, and they're bringing their coffee, Bingwa coffee, I think is what it's called. Which I have not tasted any of that before. So I'm actually really looking forward to trying some of that. And then I'm assuming it's an all Kenyan blend. And then single origin. But then we will, I'm not a big fan of warm-ups. So we'll probably I'll probably say a few words. Probably have John and Wesley will probably say a few words encouraging you guys. John Career won the race last year, so if anyone's going to give good tips on how to run it fast, he's good. His brother ran it, I think, twice, finished as high as second place, so he also has probably some good tips on how to run this race fast. And then I'll probably say a couple of words about what the route is going to be. I don't know exactly what the route is yet, but we're going to head over from that shop down towards the lake. You'll get a chance to kind of experience Mount Roosevelt, the last hill before the race, at the end of the race, as we go there, if we're going the way I think we will. And then, at some point we'll take a group selfie. Then we'll come back. There will be coffee time and lots of selfie time. And then hopefully you get to make some friends, meet a whole bunch of people while we're there. So, yeah, we're going to get there, chat for a few minutes, run, and then chat for a whole bunch more time after that. Pretty informal. So, yeah. James says, single origin. Nice. I mean, I'm not sure, but I mean, if they're making a coffee brand, I would assume it's going to be single origin Kenyan coffee, right? Tracy says, John Career is running this year, right? Yes. So my understanding is that John is not going to be running. I hope John is not going to be running the shakeout run with us. I think he's just there to say hi to some people. We'll go out, run, and then he'll take some pictures with everyone when he gets back, when we get back. I think that's how it's going to go. That's my understanding. But yeah, as far as I know, he's still planning. I mean, we'll hear more once the press conferences happen. I think next Thursday. When I talked to him after Boston last year, he was eyeing a world record attempt for this year. We'll see if the weather is conducive to that, but yeah. Calvin says, it'll be cool to meet them, but I'm not sure about their advice being helpful. It would be like LeBron teaching us how to dunk on someone. Maybe. Yeah, John Career world record time. That's what he said, and that's what he told me last April, right? And so, like, I don't know how serious he is about that, because that is pretty fast. But he ran a 2:01:48 last year, I think, or is it 2:02 low, something like that? He's in the range, So And then Cosmic Pineapple Michael says Connor Manson's going for the American record as well. I mean, the area record. Right? He's going for the area record. Cam Levins has the area record. It's like a 205 something. So I think Connor Manson is shooting for something in the 204, right? Tracy Smith says, how's everyone feeling about that? I mean, I think he could do it on the right day for sure. I think he has the ability. Whether he'll get the right weather for it, I'm not sure. You know what? Let's do the weather report right now. Weather underground. All right. It's asking me, will it let me know my location? Sure, why not? And it gave me Boston. Okay, let's look up Chicago, Illinois. Are you guys seeing this? You're not seeing this. Here we go. This one. There it is. Okay. Right now it's 81 degrees. Oh boy. 10-day. Does it get us to Sunday yet? Oh, real close. So today's hot. Tomorrow's going to be hotter. We're in the 80s still for a real long time. But then it rains next Tuesday. I think that's when the cold front comes in. Next Saturday's high is going to be 67 with 49 as the low. So if we're looking at it kind of going into overnight, I don't know what those colors mean. There's dew point, feels like, and temperature. I'm assuming temperature is the top one, feels like is the middle one, and then dew point is the low one. So the humidity is going to be high, so it's going to feel chilly. So you're going to want to have a long sleeve, and if not pants as well, for waiting around in the corrals. Was that big enough for everyone to see? How do I make this bigger? There we go. Yeah, see right there? I cannot tell what colors those are. My color blindness makes it hard for me to distinguish what those colors mean. I don't know if anyone else has that problem, but yeah. Yeah, Tim Lofton says, feels like his top. Wait, then temp, then dew point? Okay. So it's going to feel like 54 degree. Are you sure? I don't know about that. Anyway. Yeah, AJ says 10 days out is too far. I agree. So that's just like, I'm looking at the trend that we have here. And the trend that I'm seeing is that like once that rain hits, we're going to be in the 60s. Although it looks like it's warming after that Wednesday. So it might be a little warmer than that. But it's not going to be crazy, crazy hot. It's not going to be Berlin hot. It's not going to be Sydney hot. So, yeah. D0 says all stats bow to dew point. Okay. Yeah, Jack D says the AccuWeather 14-day has a low of 51, high of 61, but windy. 14 miles per hour west of southwest. Does that mean it's coming from the west of southwest or it's going to the west of southwest? I always have a hard time with that. All right, Calvin says, this is not helpful. Temp is red, feels like is magenta, and dew point is green. You just named all the colors I can't see there. Yeah, all right. Jack D says that means it's originating from west of southwest. Okay, that'll be good for the back half. And then I think for the finish as well. So I think that's going to be not that bad. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think that the weather's going to be decent. So I mean, based on this, I'm not running, so it's not a big deal to me either way. But for you guys that are, I think this could be pretty good. Yeah. Secretly, it says, did you think Sydney race was hot? I thought it was comfortable and definitely not hot. It was comfortable, but it wasn't like, yeah, I think it's going to be cooler than Sydney. That's what I think. It might be more humid than Sydney, though. But yeah, we had pretty good weather. I mean, I had long sleeve, I had a thin jacket and then long sleeve like track pants on while I was waiting. And I was fine with that. Most years for Chicago, that would not be nearly enough to stay warm while waiting in the corrals. Hopefully it's at least that chilly, you know. Tracy said, will you be on the course? Yes. So I'll be following the elites around. And then after that, once like all the elites come through, then I'll usually start walking backwards along the course. And so I'll try to find people like at mile like 23, 22, maybe more like 24, in that kind of range, which is a real tough part of the course. Just because you're not quite done yet, but you're ready to be done. And usually it's pretty hot over there because there's not a lot of shade. So that's where I'll be. Yeah, so that's the weather for Chicago. James wants to know what shoes I've been running in. I've been running in the Tier Maverick. That's the video that'll go out tomorrow. I really like that shoe a lot. I've been enjoying that one. I ran in the Boston 13 today. It was okay. That's why I'm wearing, see how I got all dressed up to wear the Boston 13 shirt for testing the Boston 13. And then yesterday I did my repeats in the Puma Fast R3. Lovely. I've been running a lot in the Metaspeed Ray as well to get that shoe review done. And then the Puma Magnify Nitro 3. I love running in that shoe. That shoe, every time I get to wear it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's nice. I like that one a lot. I've been really enjoying it. But I've been trying to split my kind of max cushion shoe miles between that and the Bondi 9, because I'm trying to get the Bondi 9 to 100 miles. So I've been running in that. I'm not as excited to run in that shoe. But usually the days that I'm reaching for that shoe are days where my body's like, that's not the most exciting, but this is good medicine. You'll feel good, you know. Counted. Did you get a watch band for E265? I did. That's what this package was. So I got new watch band for it. But I've been playing around with the Coros Pace Pro because I felt like, I've been meaning to test this one anyway, so let's do it. You know what the thing that really bugs me, other than the pace lag, that's still a big problem. They're never going to change that, I guess. But this thing turns off because it's this new screen technology. It turns off all the time, and it turns. You have to like flick your wrist to get it to turn on, and then it doesn't stay on for very long. And so like a lot of times I'm like, oh yeah, I wasn't done looking at that yet. And then sometimes the wrist flick doesn't quite work. And I've been trying to find in the settings where I can just leave it on an always on state, where maybe it's dim when I'm not like looking at it, but not completely off. But I can't find it. So that's been really annoying me. Melvin Newman says, when are you coming to Canada amidst all your travels, running TCS Toronto Waterfront 26-2 in 2 weeks? Go Jays. Maybe I'll run that one next year. Let's see. I don't have a fall marathon planned. You guys know it's like that's like, I don't know. I feel like that's a trip that might not ever happen because my wife and I have been talking about, well, we should take a weekend and go to Toronto sometime. Yeah, I want to go to Old Toronto too, and just explore down there. Maybe is it easy to stay down there? Anyway, I want to go to Toronto. Maybe I'll go next year. My friend Ashley went last year. She loved it, and so yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that one next year. Do I have a fall marathon plan? No, I don't. So maybe I'll do that one. All right, Sean says, go to system, more settings, display from the main menu and toggle always on to on. Okay. Yeah, Frank says it might be an app setting that you could set on that, a setting that you could set on the app and not the watch directly. I've been looking all through the watch, but I think you're right. Herm says Waterfront is a hoot. I was thinking about doing it. All right, well let's do it. Let's do it next year. You want to do it next year? I think by next year, you're gonna be running faster than me by next year, Herm. Herm, you've been looking good, bud. And Wilfredo says, are you coming to Houston? I have it on my calendar. I haven't booked anything yet. Next year, I think I am going. If I go, it would be to see which pros are racing. Last year, I ran the half, and that was super fun. But this year, I think I'm going to try and do a real media credentials thing. See if I could work with Chase again. Um, and like really cover it, like do some pre-race interviews, some post-race interviews, mix zones kind of stuff, do all that. And then hopefully there'll still be time to go cheer on some people too, you know. Mm-hmm. JC says Dallas happened 2026. Would be great to have you here. Is that the marathon's in December, right? Dallas. See, here's the thing. I'm looking for ways to avoid going to TRE again because I just haven't been liking it. Uh, it's been hard for me to go to that. One, because it's hard for me to make a video because I can't show any of the things that I'm seeing or that we're talking about, and that's super annoying. And it's not anyone's fault. Like, if you need things to be under embargo, they need to be under embargo. So I'm not complaining about that. I'm not demanding that they should let me break embargoes and stuff, but that's just the nature of it. And so when I go, it's like I can't show you guys anything. It seems weird. So I can't make a video for you guys when I go down there. It's a lot of time. It's during the school week, at a busy time of year. But this year, I'm running a race right around the same time as Valencia. So that's my excuse for not going to TRE. Because I feel like as a shoe reviewer, you kind of need to go unless you got a good reason not to go. So I'm going to Valencia this year. Next year, I was thinking I probably need to start going back to CIM because the OTQ window's open now. So yeah. Yeah. Stevie76 says TRE's in San Antonio. It is, and I'm bummed because I've never been to San Antonio, and I feel like I would like San Antonio, and I want to go to San Antonio. But like, I just need a break from TRE. It's been 3 years, and I always just get super exhausted from it. Sorry, guys. It's super exhausting, and for all the other reasons I mentioned. Plus, it's a lot of socializing in a. Sorry, the microphone is picking up like the ringing. It's a lot of socializing and like extrovert stuff, which I don't really like doing a lot of. So I'm very relieved to not be going this year. Although I do want to do the inaugural San Antonio Marathon. That would be kind of fun. But I'm running something else, you know. Oh, Johnny's going to go to TRE this year. Shame to miss you. That's a bummer. Sorry. Yeah, you know, so here's the thing. Here's what's been happening. And I guess we can end on this today. Last year I traveled a lot. And Thomas posted a picture recently, like the solitude of the business trip, where he's like sitting at an airport or whatever, and he's just by himself. And like, yeah, it gets real lonely when you travel a lot. It's very isolating. Even last year where I was traveling to go run with people all over the country, like it's very isolating. And so like I go kind of nuts when I do a lot of traveling. It's very hard. As much as I don't like extrovert stuff, I guess I'm more like a cat where I don't want anyone to pet me, but I want to be around people sometimes. You know what I mean? So like that's how I feel about business travel, where it's like I'm around all these people and it's like, but I'm also like lonely and I'm not around my people. And so it's really hard. And so at the end of last year, I was like, I don't want to travel as much. Plus, I'm also like, I've been telling the same stories over and over again. I've been to New York 3 times. I've been to TRE 3 times. Like Chicago last year was fun because it was a different way of approaching my local race. Instead of running it, I was covering it from a media perspective. So those were different stories. That was a different story, and I was like, I want to tell more different stories. So to do that and not go crazy with all the travel, I have to say no to some stuff, you know, stuff that's fun. And so like New York, I said I'm not going to go to New York. Plus, it's at Halloween this year. And like this week, I've been getting all these emails about like events that are happening in New York. People are like, we'd love for you to come. And I'm like, I'm not, that sounds awesome. But I'm not going to be in New York. I'm sorry. You know, I got invited to host an event that would have been a paid gig too, which would have been a lot of fun. But I'm like, I can't do that one. I'm not going to New York this year. So there's that. And then like saying no to TRE is hard as well. Because as much as I'm like, man, it's hard. I don't even want to go. I'm very happy to say no. As we get closer, people are emailing me like, hey, we're going to be doing this the week of TRE. Would love to have you come join us. I'm like, that sounds really fun, but I'm not gonna be there. Sorry. So, yeah. Mm, yeah. So it's hard. To say no to stuff because um, I know it's good for me because that creates space for me to be able to tell different stories. Like not going to TRE enables me to go to Valencia this year. I guess you can kind of do both, but to really do Valencia, well, I can't really do both. Um, but it doesn't mean I'm not gonna have FOMO, you know. So there's that. Mm, yeah. That shirt says "pet me." Yeah, but I don't want to be pet. But I want to be close enough to be pet. You know, like I don't actually want to be in all the conversations, but and that's how I feel about a lot of these, like TRE, where I would have to talk to a lot of people. I don't feel that way about like when I'm traveling to do group runs. That's different. The dip so the difficulty for me at like TRE is that like I have to be social and talk to everybody, which everyone's nice to me and the interactions are all pleasant, but they are exhausting. Um, and so that's hard and very draining for me. The hard part about doing group runs is I love meeting everybody. I love taking all the selfies. I love going for runs together, exploring new places while running. But all the moments that are not that, I'm just like by myself. And then after a while, you're like, where do I eat lunch? Where can I get some chips? Like, what should I be doing with this next hour and a half? Like, there's so many. There's just decisions, and they're all very little, but they're exhausting. And then you're just by yourself a lot. And then I'm like, I need to be around more people. And then when I'm around people, I'm like, this is too many people. So that's the hard part about the travel is like the alone time. Secretly says you should look at events where you can bring the fam at the same time. Well, see, Toronto waterfront marathon. There we go. That's where I bring my wife. Definitely will be leaving the kids at home for that one. I am bringing my daughter to an event for Chicago Marathon. I told you guys about that. Yeah. So she'll get to kind of see me a little bit. Yeah. Stevie76 says Kabuzi's also declining paid DJ gigs for people's weddings. No one will want me to DJ their wedding. Stevie76 says, is that why celebrities travel with an entourage? Maybe. I think a lot of it too is just like, yeah, I think it could be. It could be. Because part of it is like, you need someone to like, just to be gophers, you know, like, hey, I don't have that problem where it's like, well, if I leave to go get coffee, it's not a 5 minute trip. It becomes like a big deal. I don't have that problem, but I would imagine celebrities do. So you need all those people to like someone has to go get coffee, someone has to go get breakfast and stuff like that. I don't know. Calvin says for my daughter, she's gonna be holding the camera. I mean, I'm going to make her a little bit. I've talked to both her and my nephew are interested in being like social media interns for me at some point. And so it's like, well, if you guys are interested, the skills that I need are, you have to be relatively decent with a camera. I don't need you to be an artist, but like you have to be able to like get the shot. And then write up some captions and then also like make suggestions of like, hey, we're here. We should probably film a such and such, like those kinds of things. So those are some ways where I'm like, all right, this will be a nice way of like kind of testing it to see like how does she navigate this kind of space. The hard thing is like I think she's gonna fangirl like crazy when she's there. So that might be really hard because she's like, this is a brand event for On, and I love On, and yeah. So I don't know what athletes, if any, are going to be there. I think Laura Thweet's going to be there, but other than that, I don't know who else is going to be there. So it'll be interesting to see how she responds to some of that. Calvin says she should make do TikTok trends. No. She will be helpful is it's like what is cringy, like no, that's not a good idea, Dad, that kind of thing. Yeah, Runner World says I think you do well when you're with the Believe in the Run crew. Yeah, I think so, because then there's less alone time. When I'm traveling and I'm just by myself, that's when it's hard. Then it's like, should I be working? Should I be exploring something? What should I, and then like, it also just diffuses some of the decisions. I just get such decision fatigue when I'm traveling too. So, and Johnny says, maybe one day your daughter will be your co-presenter. Could be. I mean, I think, like something I do think about is like, I don't really want her to have like a job in social media necessarily, I guess. But I mean, I guess if she wants, but something that this channel certainly lacks is a female perspective. And so I think that could be really helpful to have the perspective of someone who is younger and also who can test the women's sizes. So could be useful. Not that I'm really looking to build out a team, but it is something that has crossed my mind. But that's not for a while. So yeah, but some interesting things happening. Sorry, this episode today was a ride. I had 2 big rants and then me like telling all my secrets of why I have such a hard time with traveling a lot. The time zones are the easiest part, guys. Anyway, can she see color? She can see color. She is not colorblind, so that'd be really useful. I'd be like, what color? She could be my color checker. What color is this? All right, guys. Thanks everybody for listening, and for being here for me. I appreciate you guys. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? We'll have to do this next time. I weighed the Boston 13. And then I also weighed, I realized I didn't weigh my Metaspeed Ray before I ran in it. So even though I've got about 30 miles in them now, maybe more, I think about 30 miles in now, I did weigh them. So we'll have to add those to the shoe weights sheet. So we'll do that on Monday. All right, guys? Yeah, Monday. And by then we'll have a really good idea of what the weather's going to be. Well, maybe as good as one can have in the Midwest of what the weather's going to be for Chicago. And hopefully we'll have some other unboxings that I can do as well. All right, guys. Thanks, everyone. See you Monday. Enjoy your long runs over the weekend. Be safe. Bye.